As to the fire brigade, how are they coping with what is going on all around them? Here's Assistant Commissioner Jonathan Smith from the London Fire Brigade on that one. First of all, Jonathan, I'd just like to say respect and admiration to you and your teams.
No, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for that. As your reporter was showing there, the sheer scale and challenge that we've faced over the last 12 hours in particular has been unprecedented in the history of London Fire Brigade. Just to give some additional context, since 8 o'clock yesterday morning, we've received 2,670 calls and attended well over 1,000 incidents, the vast majority of which were related to the heat wave that we've been experiencing. Again, as your colleague from Wellington was reporting, the fire in Wellington was not the only significant incident that we attended yesterday. We had 15 other serious and significant incidents spread right across the capital. That's on top of the usual day-to-day emergencies that we would normally respond to. And there was also a number of lower level types of incidents, mainly related to grassland fires and woodland fires, that had just resulted in the tinderbox dry conditions that existed yesterday. And our firefighters were operating in temperatures of 40 degrees, which is something we've not experienced before. And I would like to actually just put on record my immense thanks to firefighters, officers and control staff who coped and managed admirably yesterday in what was extremely challenging conditions. We had 16 firefighters who were suffering from heat-related injuries, 2 of whom were hospitalised, but I'm pleased to say have now been released from hospital. So that gives you a sense of the challenge that we faced yesterday, and hence the reason we declared a major incident. Look,
listening to you, and I mean, it must have been just getting calls all the time as to there's an incident here, there's an incident there, there's an outbreak here, there. I mean, obviously you couldn't tend to them all and you have to prioritise, but it must have been, as you say, absolutely unprecedented, this sort of thing. But Jonathan, let me say this to you, no 2 days are the same. We're talking about rainstorms now, we're talking about maybe the risk of flooding, and a lot of people may not realise it, but the fire brigade often called for those as well.
No, you're absolutely right. So these challenges that we now face that are related to climate change really are at both ends of the extreme. So as we saw yesterday, we were dealing with heat-related issues and the fact that the ground was extremely dry and all the challenges that brings. But if I take you back to last July, when we were actually dealing with wide area flooding and significant parts of London were flooded throughout July last year. So part of our strategic planning really for both now and in the future is to make sure that the brigade is equipped, trained and ready to deal with these types of incidents, which sadly we know we are going to continue to face in the years ahead. It's a challenge for all of the emergency services at the moment to make sure that actually we've got the right skills, we've got the right training, we've got the right equipment, and we're embedding all of that into our strategic and long-term planning, because the threat from climate change, both in terms of extremes of heat, extremes of cold, and then, of course, when we get flash flooding, is something that we have to respond to.